For the second weekend in a row, the St. Cloud State University Huskies will be back at the Herbrooks National Hockey Center to take on the Princeton Tigers. Welcome into your Husky Hockey Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Nick Speliopoulos. Last weekend, it was a battle of the Huskies as Northeastern came to town to take on St. Cloud State. On Friday night, it was the Tyler Madden show as he put 2 goals in the back of the net past David Rennick, and Sam Hench has added his second goal of the season to his name, but that would not be enough as the Northeastern Huskies would take Friday night's game with a final score of 4-1. Saturday, round 2 battle of the Huskies, that one would be a different outcome. Goals from Jack Paling and Sam Henches would be enough as Northeastern would only put 1 up on the board on Saturday night. St. Cloud State Huskies win that game with a final score of 2-1. Taking a look at how that affected this week's USCHO.com poll, the St. Cloud State University Huskies sit at 16, and other teams around the NCHC, number 14, North Dakota, number 6, Minnesota Duluth, and sitting atop all of college hockey, the Denver Pioneers at number 1. Some things to note, Western Michigan and Omaha are both 2 teams in the NCHC sitting right outside the poll, receiving votes. And now joining me from the rink live is Mick Hatton. Mick, thank you for joining us this week. Now, first off, can we start to expect freshman Joey Lamoureux to split time with goaltender David Rennick?
I think a lot of it will depend on how things go on Friday. St. Cloud State is at a point right now where they're looking for some consistency. They won on Saturday. I think they want to see some consistency out of this team. So I think Rennick will start on Friday, and then we'll kind of see how that game goes as to whether or not Lamoureux gets into the game on Saturday.
And you talk about consistency. Sam Henches has arguably been the most consistent skater on this team. What does he bring to this year's squad?
Well, I don't think there's really any question he's been their most consistent player. Pretty much every shift that he's been on the ice here in the first 4 games, he's been noticeable, and noticeable in a good way for St. Cloud State. He's got seems to have like a second burst that can get past people in a short amount of time in a short space, and guys like that are not easy to come by. One of the big things with him this season is that he's finally, I think, healthy. He went into last season kind of coming off a shoulder surgery. He had off-season lower body surgery this season. Now he's finally, I think, back healthy, and you're seeing how productive he can be.
And now focusing on Princeton. This team hasn't played a game yet this year, so how does St. Cloud prepare for a team that hasn't played a game yet?
Yeah, there's no film for them to watch, and they lost a lot of players from last season. Princeton lost their top 3 point scorers from last season, 4 of their top 5. So there's a lot of questions as to who's going to step up and score for them. They only have 1 player back who had more than 20 points. Everybody else had 10 points or less. So St. Cloud State's got to focus on themselves. I mean, that's the biggest thing for them right now. They're trying to find out some things about themselves in terms of finding a consistent lineup up front, in particular, finding line combinations that work. They think they found a couple of things on Saturday night against Northeastern. We'll see if that kind of continues into Friday's game.
Awesome. Thank you, Mick. If you want to experience some of the greatest college hockey across Minnesota, feel free to visit SCSUtickets.com to reserve your spot in the Herb for this weekend's action against Princeton. If you can't make it, that's all right. Friday's game will be broadcast on Fox Sports North Plus starting at 7:30, and then on Saturday it broadcasts on Fox 9 Plus starting at 6 o'clock. That's been another edition of Weekend Preview. I'm your host, Nick Speliopoulos. Go Huskies.